Hello! Recently I made a ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red that turns all trainer battles into double battles. I'm not sure if this has been done before, but I have taken inspiration from @sign's ROM hack for all double battles in Pokemon Emerald. I decided I would showcase this hack by doing a hardcore Nuzlocke of it. I've done a hardcore Nuzlocke on this channel before, but it's essentially a self-imposed rule set where you can only catch the first Pokemon on each route. All the feints are permanent, no items can be used in battle, and each gym has a level cap. I also use the Dupes Clause, where you cannot catch duplicates of a Pokemon species. Now, when it comes to choosing a starter for Nuzlocks, a lot of people like to choose the Fire Starter because fire starters or fire types can be very rare. But I choose Bulbasaur for this because it is going to be so valuable for the early game, with Brock and Misty being the first two gym leaders. So I take my Bulbasaur and I name it Leaf, and I get ready for the first rival battle. Now, this right here is typically where half of my Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlockes end. So I have devised the amazing strategy of spamming the move Tackle. And, I mean, it's a coin flip. You'll see me here check the Pokemon stats, but it doesn't really mean that much. Because, I mean, it's a Bulbasaur. You get what you get. So you'll watch these expert plays of me spamming Tackle and defeating this Charmander. And I know some of you will go, hey, no tag, that wasn't a double battle. What's up with that? But in this ROM hack, the only way that it will prompt a double battle, like this bug trainer, is if the trainer has more than one Pokemon. If they don't have more than one Pokemon, it can't be a double battle. In this hack, I did not add more Pokemon to any teams. I did not change any teams. All I did was implement the Gen 4 physical special split, because I do that in all my hacks, and I think it just makes it so I enjoy the game a little bit more. And this is future footage, but you can see I don't have much trouble with this bug catcher. So now we can enjoy this intense gameplay of me fighting this bug catcher, and then I will get into the captures I had for the first few routes. And now that this battle is over, we can start looking into the first catches I had in the beginning routes. On Route 1, I caught a Pidgey. And then on Route 22, I caught a Mankey. And then on Route 2, I caught a Rattata. And then in Viridian City, I caught a Caterpie. With not much else going on before the first gym battle with Brock, you can see my expert training montage I have going on here to get ready for the first gym. So all of my Pokemon are at the level cap. Some Nuzlockers really do not like using rare candies because, oh, so much can happen while training. But odds are I would have been training against level 2 Pidgeys and Rattatas until all my Pokemon are level 14, and I would have wasted an hour, and it's just so much better and easier to make content with rare candies at times, especially when I'm just showcasing a ROM hack I've done. This is a self-imposed challenge. I don't want it to last forever. Now, against Brock, I will lead off with my Bulbasaur and my Mankey, because they just have the best type advantage. And I will try to swing into Onix with Vine Whip, because Vine Whip is now a physical move. So Onix will be able to tank the hit a lot better. And I want both of these Pokemon to eventually go down, but neither of these Pokemon have like the highest attack stat. So my team makes some pretty quick work of Brock. And just like that, we have the first gym battle completed. Now, Brock is not much of a challenge, but some of the battles get a little bit harder. Most of the normal NPCs aren't that hard, especially with the rare candies. It makes it so we can just hit the level that we want and then kind of breeze through to the next rival battle, gym leader, etc. And now on Route 6, I get a Nidoran encounter, which is very good luck. And thanks to my now Butterfree, it's an easy catch. And then I buy the Magikarp on Route 4 to get my Gyarados, and I catch a Paris in Mount Moon. I would have preferred something a little bit different, but I mean, in the end, Paris is an encounter. It'll work for something. And now with all of my encounters out of the way, I train for Misty's Gym with the good old rare candies. I'm not anticipating on Misty being very hard. I will lead off with my Venusaur and my Butterfree because I feel like they have the best advantage over Misty's team. Now, I could have gotten Ivysaur close to leveling up, so that way it would learn Razor Leaf like mid-battle, but that's okay. I Sleep Powder into the Starmie, and I go for the KO on the Staryu, just so the Starmie will be easier to deal with on its own. And then, with Staryu out of the way, it makes Starmie an easy target. And with good luck on my side, Starmie will stay asleep for the rest of the battle, making a very, very easy second gym, with only taking a small amount of damage on both of my beginner Pokemon. And now that Gym 2 is out of the way, I get to fight my rival. I didn't fight the rival to begin with, because after beating Misty, I will have a lot better level cap, so it makes the fight a lot simpler. And now, the rival leads with an Abra and a Pidgeotto, so it will make the battle extremely easy with Abra only knowing Teleport. Now I will lead off this battle with my Nidorino and my Raticate. The reason why it is still a Nidorino is because I wanted it to learn Dig before I evolved it into Nidoking, but you have to defeat the Rocket Grunt after this before you can get the Dig TM. And you will see Nidorino and Raticate making quick work of his team, with basically Abra doing nothing to support him. Now Nidorino and Raticate will make quick work of the Charmander and be left with only the teleporting Abra, which will be an easy KO for the team. Now with the rival out of the way, we get to encounter our Route 24 and 25 Pokemon. On Route 24, I encounter an Oddish that I put to sleep and then swiftly catch. And then, on Route 25, I encounter an Abra, which I put to sleep, thankfully, and I catch it before it wakes up so it cannot teleport away. Then we go on to Bills, so we can turn him back into a human, and we get the SS Ann ticket so we can fight the rival and get cut. And after we leave Bills, we will encounter a Meowth on Route 5 that we put to sleep with Butterfree. Butterfree will be pretty much our main mode of catching Pokemon. Then on Route 6, I had to skip the encounter because I had caught all of the encounters in the grass for this area. So with my duplicates clause, there was no Pokemon here to catch. So after I get Surf or a Rod, I could come back, but later in the game I found it not necessary to come back because I'd already had all the encounters that I needed. Now, I didn't actually look up what encounters were for this, or else I might have been able to plan it a little bit better around the dupes clause. But you can see me try for a little bit here, and then just realize there was absolutely nothing here for me to catch. So then we head down and get the bike voucher before we go to Route 11 to get our encounter, and then over to Diglett Cave. Now, on Route 11, we encounter an Ekans that is an easy catch. And then, in Diglett Cave, we encounter a Diglett Surprise Surprise, who is also a pretty easy catch after being put to sleep. Then, I head to the SS Ann, where I fight my rival to get cut. I will lead with Gyarados and Eradicate, so that way I can get the Intimidate off on the other team so they will do less damage, because at this point in the game, most moves are physical moves. Now, with being at a slightly higher level, and having a Gyarados, the team does not stand much chance against me, and we will make quick work of this team, and then we will be on to face off against Lieutenant Surge. Now, the strategy for Lieutenant Surge is not going to be very complicated. I now have, after this battle, a Nidoking that I can use to defeat his team pretty easily. I also bring out my Ivysaur because it resists, and I can hit it with Razor Leafs. You'll see my Nidoking use Dig because I delayed the evolution just a little bit, just so my Nidoran would know how to use it. And his team can't really do a whole lot to mine, so it's just another easy gym battle. But here you'll see me switch out of Ivysaur, essentially just to make sure he did not get crit, because I knew Nidoking would be able to handle Raichu, and Ivysaur is a little bit more important than Gloom. Now, with 3 gym badges in the bag, we get to have a lot more encounters. So on Route 9, we get to encounter a Spearow. Butterfree can put the Spearow to sleep. But just in case it wakes up, I switch into Gyarados to get off an Intimidate. But it doesn't make that much of a difference. I'm just being a little cautious. And then on Route 10, we encounter a Voltorb that I also put to sleep with Sleep Powder, and it makes that an easy catch. And then in Rock Tunnel, we encounter a Geodude who is also fairly easy to catch. Ivysaur can take a Geodude hit a little bit better, so I used Ivysaur for Sleep Powder, even though it's less accurate. I used a little bit of Leech Seed just to make sure I didn't die, but all in all, Geodude was still fairly easy to catch. And then, on Route 8, I'd already exhausted all the other encounters for that route, so I guaranteed a Growlithe encounter, which I Sleep Powdered to make sure it could not roar me out of the battle, and then I spammed Pokeballs at it until I caught it. And then, on Route 16, I decided to skip my Snorlax encounter and instead go for whatever was in the grass there. I encountered a Doduo. Not the end of the world. Snorlax is a very good Pokemon, but in the end, I knew I wasn't going to need it, so I figured I'd see what was ever in the grass. Usually when I do these runs, the only thing I really check is just what Pokemon the gym leader have, so I don't always know what Pokemon are on the routes. And then we'll go back into Celadon and grab the free Eevee that I will nickname Sparks because I just always evolve it into a Jolteon. It's the favorite evolution, and having a solid electric type is usually a very good thing to have. Then we head down to Erica's gym, where I will lead with a Fearow and a Kadabra, and just having such a good type advantage will pretty much ensure my win, because Tangela cannot do a whole lot, so I can essentially double into Victory Bell and Vileplume every turn until it's down to just Tangela, and it makes for another really easy battle. And with this, we will have badge number 4, Deathless. This is only my second attempt at the run. My first attempt at the run ended with the first rival battle where I picked my starter and did not make it. So now we will head to the game corner and raid that place for making their ridiculous coin prices. Why do I want to pay $80,000 for a Thunderbolt TM? Like, what the heck, Giovanni? I know you're Team Rocket, but you don't got to be like that horrible of a person. Now, against Giovanni, I will lead Nidoking and Primeape. His team isn't really that good at this point in the game. So, I mean, Brick Break and Cross Chop should, easily beat him. Oh, missed one Cross Chop. That's something. Still fine. Oh, missed a second Cross Chop. That's something. I mean, we still haven't taken much damage because, we're essentially very high level for this. But, we'll see how this goes. Oh, missed a fourth Cross Chop. This is horrible luck for an 80% accuracy move. But, yeah, we're high enough level. It doesn't make that much difference. But just having better than 20% accuracy on an 80% accurate move would be very helpful. Giovanni's still a joke, though. Now, our next battle is against a rival in Pokemon Tower, and since we have such a high level cap, it makes this battle very easy. I don't even have to have Thunderbolt at this point to be able to, easily win. A 10 level difference between level 23 and 33 just seals the battle where it's at, not to mention that I, have better Pokemon. And with this victory, we will advance further into Pokemon Tower, where I will get my Ghastly encounter, and I will catch it on the first ball. And then after this, we get to rescue Mr. Fuji and get the Poke Flute. Now with the Poke Flute in hand, we will go and clear the Snorlax so we can get to Fuchsia City. You can always come back here later with an item finder and collect the leftovers on the ground. I didn't have to for this run. I probably should have, but what are you going to do? Now, while I'm in Fuchsia City, I'm going to go ahead and clear out all of Koga's gym trainers because some of them are hard to dodge, some of them are necessary, and I don't want to go over the level cap later on while I'm going into his gym to fight him after I've already fought the rival and Giovanni's second battle. So this is more of just a precautionary thing, so that way I do not accidentally overlevel a very necessary Pokemon later on and have a loss that I should not have had. So now that I have the gym cleared of its trainers, I will go and get my Fearow so that way I can fly to Saffron City and march my way up to the Silphco so that way I can take on my rival. This battle will be a lot harder than his last one, but with the Pokemon that I have acquired on the run, it should not be that difficult. Now, with the rivals still having an execute, it makes it a lot easier. So I can still lead Jolteon Gyarados and not have to worry too much. I'm essentially able to knock out the more threatening Pokemon while still having one Pokemon left that doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. The most Execute can really do to me in this situation is stuns for my Pokemon, which is annoying, but it's not really the end of the world. Especially with Sparks being able to pretty much solo the team. So, a little bit harder of a rival battle, but with him starting with kind of a weak link, it's still fairly easy. No troubles, still 0 deaths. with this, I beat the rival, and I am able to claim my free Lapras, which will be very key in this run. Lapras is a water ice type. Water is a very good defensive type. Ice is a very good offensive type. And then it also helps with Lance and his dragons. So you'll be seeing Lapras a lot later on. It's always a very good Elite Four contender for a Pokemon. It's also a reason why I never choose Squirtle in the beginning, because to me Lapras is just so much better than Blastoise. And with that, it is time for the Giovanni fight. I lead Venusaur and Primeape to get the type advantage over Rock and Normal type Pokemon, but I completely forgot that this time around he uses more Poison type Pokemon, and I had to do a lot of switching around, but you'll see Primeape actually hit his Cross Chop to get rid of that Kangaskhan, and I was able to put Nidorino to sleep, so it made the battle a lot easier. With Giovanni also normally just being, an easy trainer to beat to begin with, I have more troubles than I should have, but it was still a relatively easy battle. Now, you'll see me switch around a lot in this battle. That's mainly just to get around to the Pokemon I need to win the battle, because I just started so off that I didn't really have the Pokemon necessary to win out. But again, Giovanni's fairly easy. These Pokemon can't do a whole lot to me. And now with Gyarados and Dugtrio out, I'm a lot better equipped to defeat them, even though Giovanni's pretty much already done. But not taking damage from Earthquake is a very good upside of switching in Gyarados. And Giovanni is finished. Now with Giovanni done, I have the option of facing Koga or Sabrina first. They both have the same level cap at 43, but Sabrina is always known as being the more difficult one. So I'm going to fight Koga first, so that way I can have the Pokemon I know I will not use against Sabrina up to level 43 to fight Koga. So that way I do not have a lack of resources for when I fight against Sabrina. And before I go and face Koga, I will go ahead and go to the Safari Zone to play that game. I miss a Venomoth encounter, but that doesn't make much of a difference on this run. And I think that might have been the only encounter that I missed in this entire run, but I really wanted Surf to use for later, and because it's just, a fairly good move to have. And with that, it is time for the Koga battle. I lead off with Kadabra and Gyarados. I use Gyarados so that way I can get Intimidate off, just in case his coughing decides to explode, because I will be attacking into Muck because it's fairly specially defensive, and I want to make sure I get the knockout. And then with Gyarados getting poisoned, I switched into Nidoking, so that way I'll have a better type advantage, and Nidoking cannot get poisoned, and You'll see here in a second why it was a very good thing that I led with Gyarados, because his coughing decides to explode, and it makes it so that way my team takes significantly less damage. And you'll notice the coughing exploding also took out his Muck, which made the rest of the battle just a little bit easier. And now Weezing is a lot less specially defensive than his Muck was, so a Psychic should be able to easily defeat it, and then Nidoking should be able to make quick work of the coughing. Kadabra gets poisoned, but it's no big deal, as one more Psychic easily defeats the coughing. And with that, now we have our 5th badge, and it's time to fight Sabrina. All that we have to do is get the rest of our team up to level 43, and we are ready for the fight. Now against Sabrina, I will lead Haunter and Black Glasses Gyarados, because in this ROM hack, Bite is now a physical move, so Gyarados can actually make some use of it. I will double into the Kadabra slot, because in Gen 3, if you knock out a Pokemon, they will immediately send out the next one. So I Shadow Punch the Kadabra to get the one-hit KO, and thankfully she sends out Alakazam, so Gyarados can get the one-hit KO on Alakazam, removing the 2 main threats on her team. Now, yeah, Mr. Mime and Venomoth don't stand much of a challenge against a Haunter and a Gyarados, and I make quick work of the rest of her team thanks to the Gen 3 battle mechanics. And with that, we now have 6 gym badges, still deathless in this run. And now we fly back to Pallet Town so we can surf down to Cinnabar Island. And while surfing down to Cinnabar Island on Route 21, we will get our Tentacool encounter. Tentacool is not the top tier Pokemon, but it is very useful in this run as a Tentacruel. It's very fast and has a pretty decent special attack stat. So we get the Tentacool caught, and then it's on down to Cinnabar, where we get our Pokemon Mansion encounter, where we catch a Coughing. It won't be very useful in the rest of this run, but it's good to have fodder if we need it. I get the key, and then we head to Blaine's gym, where I ace his quiz with my superior Pokemon knowledge. I will lead Tentacruel to surf and take out the Ponyta and Growlithe, and I will have Gyarados to set up Rain Dance. But after I click Rain Dance with Gyarados, I will see I completely forgot to teach Tentacruel Surf. So I only have Bubble Beam and Water Pulse for this battle. But that does not stop me. I knock out the Growlithe with a Bubble Beam, and I set up Rain Dance with Gyarados, so I have some boosted water moves, and the fire moves are now half damage. Gyarados is not a very good special attacker, but with the boost from the rain, his attacks will at least do something decent. And thanks to the boost from the rain, I one-shot the Rapidash with Bubble Beam, and Gyarados can do some pretty decent damage on Arcanine as it comes in for the turn. I leave Ponyta alive because it won't be able to do as much damage, and then I mop up the team. And with that, we have 7 deathless gym badges. Now, after this battle, you get the option to go to the Sevi Islands with Blaine. It is not required for this, so I turn him down. because I feel I do not need any of the encounters there. And for the most part, I am just ready to take on Giovanni and the League. Now, I make sure I actually teach Tentacruel Surf, because I will be using the same strategy for Giovanni. So now I will start Gyarados Tentacruel again, so I can Rain Dance and use Surf, but this time, thankfully, I actually have the move Surf learned. You'll see Surf does a lot better damage because it hits 2 Pokemon and it's a fairly powerful move. And now the next turn, while the more better Pokemon come out, I will be able to Surf them and also get the KO, while also being able to use Water Pulse to do a little bit more damage to the Pokemon that comes out, which is Nidoking, and then the next turn I'm able to easily knock it out. And with that, we have 8 Deathless Gym Badges, which is a lot better than I could ask for, but it's also Fire Red, so it's not that difficult. But I figured there might be a little bit more of a challenge there, since it's double battles, but I seem to be doing pretty good with the battle mechanics, and all that's left between me and the League is my rival. Now I have my Arcanine Bjork, because I was able to level it up enough to teach it Flamethrower, because I did not want to buy the TM, and it's fairly useful on the team. I did not realize he would start out with Rhyhorn because I did not look at his team, so I switch out of Jolteon to make sure I did not get hit with a ground move, but it does not make much of a difference because my Arcanine can quickly deal with Pidgeot, and the ×4 Water Pulse from Gyarados makes quick work of the Rhyhorn. And now with this, I'm able to put a Black Glasses Bite into Alakazam to get the KO, and switch into Jolteon, which is good against 2 of the 3 remaining Pokemon on the Rivals team. Bite was just a very good move for me this run, and Jolteon's Thunderbolt always does a good job, especially against the Gyarados. And just like that, I am set up for a nice easy win against the final rival fight before the League. But since the level cap is also now 60, I was at a significantly higher level in the rival, which made the fight very easy. Since there are no required battles in the Victory Road, I am able to easily make my way to the League, where I spend some time trying to perfectly craft a team to get through the League. And you'll see me here. I go for a Golduck using a Repel strat, because I thought Golduck could learn Psychic, but I thought completely wrong. It does not learn Psychic, and this was pretty much just a waste of time. I did not need to go to the Seafoam Islands to catch this Golduck. And now, since this Golduck cannot learn Psychic, I decided to opt for bringing a Haunter into the Elite Four battle. After a while of careful consideration, I feel like the best team I can bring to the League is Sparks the Jolteon, Monkey the Primeape, Nido the Nidoking, Ness the Lapras, Bjork the Arcanine, and Boo the Haunter. Now, against Loralee, I will lead Jolteon and Primeape. So that way, Jolteon can Thunderbolt into the very physically defensive Cloyster, and my Primeape will hopefully hit his cross chop against Dugong, but he has not been very good at hitting it for this whole run. Oh, but he actually hits a crit. A very good timely crit to get rid of Dugong, and then I'm able to Thunderbolt into Slowbro, and I will hit another cross chop on the Jinx, which will set me up to face against just a Lapras, who is very specially defensive, so I will go a low kick into Lapras because I know it will be at low health, and I am able to easily sleep Lorelei without taking any damage at all. Up next is Bruno. I will lead Nidoking and Haunter, so I can use Earthquake with the Nidoking and have Haunter's Levitate, make it immune to it, and then I can also use Psychic with the Haunter to deal some pretty massive damage to the fighting type Pokemon, while also being able to take care of the Onixes. Now, the Onixes are not much of a threat because they have a pretty abysmal attack stat, but it's good to be able to deal with them pretty efficiently and then kind of still have one left standing, so that way I don't get into two better Pokemon, and I'm able to knock out that Onix and put some damage on Machamp, so that way one Psychic will finish it, and now it's just a 2v1 where Nidoking and Haunter are able to easily knock out the Hitmonlee with only taking a little bit of damage on Haunter and securing my win against the second Elite Four member. Now for Agatha, I probably could have had a better strategy, but I taught Safeguard to Lapras, so that way I wouldn't get Confused Raid, Hypnosis, Toxic, etc. in the turns, and I also led with Jolteon so I could take out the Golbat and then set up Safeguard with Lapras. But the opponent's Gengar starts setting up his double teams, raising his evasion, and after missing the I hit the Gengar, but I'm not able to knock it out, I start opting to take out the rest of the team so I can deal with the Gengar later. With Safeguard up, the rest of the team doesn't fare too good against me. I am able to easily knock out the rest of the team, and then it will leave just the level 54 Gengar that is now very elusive. Now just having the 2v1, I am able to attack twice in the Gengar, which makes it that way even though it has a very low chance of being hit. 2 attacks per turn is a lot better than 1 attack per turn, and eventually I am able to hit twice. Eventually. So I attack with Thunderbolt, and I switch out Bjork just because it's been toxic, and I don't want to take toxic damage. But that did not matter because the final Thunderbolt hit, and I am now past Agatha with a little bit of struggle, but no deaths still. And now up next is going to be the final Elite Four member, Lance, where I will lead with Jolteon and Lapras. with Jolteon there to take care of the flying type Pokemon, and Lapras there to take care of the dragon types. Thunderbolt makes quick work of Gyarados since it's 4 times effective, and the unevolved Dragonairs are just always a weak spot in Lance's team, and I am able to easily Ice Beam them. And then with Jolteon being 2 levels higher than Aerodactyl, it's able to easily outspeed and hit with a Thunderbolt for a one-shot. And then I will knock out the second Dragonair with an Ice Beam, leaving just Dragonite. And now I don't know if Thunderbolt will be able to KO the Dragonite, so I switch into Primeape, so that way if it does hit my Jolteon and crit, then I will only be out a Primeape and not Jolteon, because Jolteon is a lot more necessary for the champion. And just like that, with an Ice Beam, a times 4 effective Ice Beam, we are ready for the champion. And now, all that's standing before me is the champion. I will lead Jolteon and Haunter against his team, so that way hopefully Haunter can outspeed the Alakazam and one-shot it with a Shadow Ball, but we'll see what happens. I use Thunderbolt on the Pidgeot and easily get the one-hit KO, but it looks like Alakazam is going to outspeed and get some chip damage in on Jolteon with a Psychic before getting one-shot by Haunter. Now this is not a good situation for Jolteon, so I switch into my Lapras, and I'm able to hit Executor with a Shadow Ball and almost knock it out, but then get hit by a Sleep Powder. But thankfully Levitate makes it so Earthquake does not hit, and Rhydon knocks out his own teammate. Now I'm able to go for a Surf to knock out the Rhydon, but I have to switch out because Haunter is basically useless right now, and I switch into Primeape, so that way if Primeape ends up going down, I'm able to switch into something better but more clean, so that way the Pokemon I switch into will not be taking a hit. So Lapras just goes for Surf, and Primeape cannot do a whole lot, but I'm hoping he gets hit, and he gets hit by a Fire Blast, and neither Pokemon is doing much damage right now, but that's okay because I have a lot more in the back. I switch from Ness into Bjork, so hopefully he will take a Fire Blast, but it's an Aerial Ace, still not a lot of damage. And then Monkey goes down, so I'm able to switch into Sparks, and I'm able to do a lot more damage with a Thunderbolt and knock out the Gyarados while getting some nice chip damage in on the Charizard. Charizard ends up hitting Jolteon with a Fire Blast for my second loss, but now I'm at a pretty good advantage with not having much damage taken. And then just like this, I am the champion, only suffering 2 losses the entire run in this hardcore Fire Red double battles only Nuzlocke. So now, whether you have stayed and watched the entire thing, or you have skipped to the Elite Four just to see how the Nuzlocke ended, I thank you for watching, and I hope you guys will check out some of my other content. I'm fairly new to ROM hacking, but this just seemed like a fun thing to do, so I could get another version of the game. I love playing the ROM hacks. I am an okay Nuzlocker. I do not have 5,000 hours of experience and am a complete professional at it, but I can do okay at times. Pokemon Fire Red normally isn't that hard of a game to Nuzlocke. It's usually a good one to start on, but I figured it would be pretty fun for the double battles only, and just to see how the game played like that. So if you guys like more content like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I have another hardcore Nuzlocke where I use ice types only in Pokemon Platinum, but it does not have a voiceover because I did not have the equipment at the time when I made it. I made it more as a meme. And I also have some Pokemon Showdown content with Ice only Pokemon because I'm a very big fan of Ice Pokemon. But yeah, with that, I'll ask you guys to like this video if you like the content. Subscribe if you want to. I can't tell you what to do. I am not your dad. But yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.